Now, I've played a fair few Dead Rising games, and when I say a fair few, I mean almost all of them. So I'm going to be basically cluing you guys in on some Dead Rising lore and how this title here is actually a huge thing. Capcom is apparently working on a Dead Rising sequel starring Frank West. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, Frank West was the main character of the original Dead Rising, and then we got a new main character in Dead Rising 2, but the players didn't like that guy, and so they patched in Frank West, not in the original game, but released a brand new game called Dead Rising 2 Off the Record. So now we have Dead Rising 1, which was an Xbox exclusive for the longest time until it was released elsewhere in the following generation, following Frank West. Then we got a new guy in Dead Rising 2. People didn't like him, so they released Dead Rising 2 Off the Record to bring Frank West back. Dead Rising 3 still stuck on the Xbox One as far as I remember. Can't remember if it came to PC. Maybe it did. I can't be bothered to figure it out. That's the one that I haven't played. And then we get Dead Rising 4, where we have Frank West returns, and from a story-based perspective, features the ending with Frank West dying in a canonical death. So basically, if they were to go back to the drawing board, I think it could be very well possible that after the DRDR remaster that we got, the Dead Rising Deluxe remaster, that we might be getting a remaster of Off the Record. Dead Rising 2 Off the Record. Just basically speak it out. And I mean, keeping in mind that Dead Rising 4 was an awful game. It was not fun at all. All the curious, the creativity behind psychos and stuff like that was completely lost. And they also kind of got rid of the timing related stuff, like needing Zombrex all the time in order to kind of keep Frank from turning into a zombie. So there are a few different things here and there as to why Dead Rising 4 was an awful game, and the fact that his canonical death kind of happened suggests that they're going to continue down a parallel path with remakes, I feel like. So it could very well be, if it's a brand new sequel, or rather, it doesn't even say brand new, it just says working on a new Dead Rising sequel, I feel like remaking 2 Off the Record makes the most amount of sense. Probably, but I could also be completely wrong about that. Let's just kind of see how things go. I was right about Tales of Shillia coming out after Tales of Grace's F, and we're now getting Tales of Berseria next year, so matter of time before we get, Tales of Zestiria. Yeah, that came out in between those games. But yeah, so according to a new report by MP First, which VGC can partly corroborate with their own sources apparently, that claims that an in-development zombie action sequel will also see the return of original protagonist Frank West. The project in question won't be a remaster or remake. Okay, no, that completely diverts everything that I thought of. So basically, they're just going to make him come back as a zombie? I don't know what the hell's going on here. Because the thing is that, keeping in mind with Dead Rising 4, Frank West died and faced his canonical end at the end of that game. Is that a spoiler? Yes. But do you care to play Dead Rising 4 because it's one of the worst games I've ever played? Absolutely not. I'm saving you some time and giving you the lore. It said that the new Dead Rising will see West hit Hollywood, with action primarily taking place within a massive enclosed movie studio lot where the game's main villain forces Frank and the other survivors into various trials, all in the pursuit of filming his perfect movie, quote unquote. That's an interesting way of putting it. The timing aligns with the recent remaster of the original Dead Rising game, which released last year with improved visuals, revamped controls, and quality of life improvements. VGC did do a review of DRDR, or Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, and I'm not going to talk too much about that because I'm on VGC's own website, for Pete's sake. Capcom has said that it's working on reactivating dormant IPs following the announcement of an Onimusha and Okami sequel last year, which is insane that we're getting. So Onimusha was crazy enough. Getting an Okami sequel, though, that was something that I genuinely did not believe would ever happen. and yet I am very excited to jump back into the world of Okami, to play as Amaterasu and just, go through the world of Nippon. Like, there's a lot of fun to be had with the paintbrush mechanics and things like that. Yes, it slows down the pace of the gameplay as a whole, but I would say that that's a fairly good, unique selling point for the most part. It also asked fans what franchises they want to see return via a survey. This was a while ago, mind you, and I think most people voted Onimusha originally. In addition to regularly releasing major new titles each year, Capcom is focusing on reactivating dormant IPs that haven't had a new title launch recently. Now, the question of how recent is recently remains up in the air for the most part. The company is working to further enhance corporate value by leveraging its rich library of content, which includes reviving past IPs. That's probably why they did start working on franchises like Resident Evil, for example. Reviving past IPs like the 2 titles announced above in order to continuously produce highly efficient, high quality titles. And the thing is that as much crap as I want to give Capcom, especially with what happened with Resident Evil 5 and 6 about, 12 to 15 years ago, they're actually on a roll. Like, they've been releasing some really good games. Even some of their weird stuff, like Exoprimal, was still okay. And Kunitsugami was actually a really good strategy game. Really weird, but really good regardless. So I feel like Capcom is going through a bit of a renaissance. We thought that Capcom was dead after the release of Resident Evil 5 and 6. So remaking those 2 turds would be an interesting decision by itself. That being said, though, we didn't start seeing things really, align for the company until they released Resident Evil 7, Monster Hunter World. Stuff from that point onwards is really where Capcom started showing off a lot of what they have under their umbrella and under their belt. So I really do believe that, the Resident Evil remakes are doing an incredible job. I think that going back and brushing up some of the older IP is a great idea. Bringing back franchises that people used to absolutely love, but also bringing those franchises to newer audiences, because a lot of people don't know about Onimusha. But the problem when you release a game that is of an older property, or even a brand new property that's never existed, is what I think I like to call the free-to-play test. Basically, how do you get people from playing free-to-play titles to pay money for other titles that you're releasing? It's an interesting question to ask, and one that I feel like a lot of people really need to ask themselves as they continue to release games. I feel like free-to-play has really destroyed a lot of what it means to be releasing games in the gaming market to this day. But with all of that being said, though, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year. With all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.